Okay, so we get to use this once a turn, I was saying, once a round. Flip it over, get 2 cards, and get a white mana. So let's do that before I forget to do it. We only got 3 cards left. So let's flip it over and let's try to get a move card, which we did. Nice. We got a move card. We got 2 move cards, actually. It costs 2 move points to flip over a tile. So I didn't have any moves, so I wanted to do that. We also get a white mana token, which means we get a white one that we can use this turn, but if we don't use it, it goes back to the pile. So we gotta try to use it. We still have a green one saved up from earlier. Okay, so let's figure out what we want to do here. We're going to... I don't really have anything to use white with this turn, but I wanted to get those extra cards, so it kind of didn't help us to get the white. Oh well, it's okay. So let's move, there's a blue and a red in there. So let's flip over a card. Let's do the green one, and do a move 2. That allows us to flip over a tile. So let's flip over the next tile, which should be number 3. Because these are put in order for this first scenario, which it is number 3. So let's put that down. Remember, it goes a very specific way. 3 has to be facing, and 3 has to be facing the same direction as the letter on the bottom, and these stars match up. So that's the way it goes. So let's see what's on this tile. We have another village right next to this village, so I guess we can maybe that's just one big village. I don't know. We have a mine that gives us a white crystal if we end our turn on it. And we have a keep. So this is the first tile we get a keep. So we take the keep token, which has an enemy on the other side, but we don't actually see these. The orcs flip up, and the dragon tokens. These guys are a keep. The only way you see a keep is if you are adjacent to it during the daytime, I believe. I think at night, you don't... I gotta find the keep card to double check that, because I can't remember. Where's the keep card? There it is. It says the keep, when revealed, place a gray enemy token face down on the space. It is revealed during the day if the player is adjacent to it. So as long as we get anywhere around here, we can see who's in there before we go in and attack it. The keeps aren't like the orcs. You can't attack adjacent. You have to actually go on the space. But that's how you get... You need to actually control the keep and be on it to be able to recruit units that come from a keep. So the other thing, though, is when you attack places like a keep, a mage tower, you actually get -1 reputation on your influence track, which makes it harder to recruit units in the long run. But you kind of have to do it to get things. So the other thing is the defendant enemies are fortified, which means you can't use ranged attacks on them. Only siege. If you assault the keep, which means we kill the unit, then we get a market with a shield token, meaning it is ours, and we own it. If you play with other people, they can actually come and take your keep away by attacking it. And the thing about owning the keep, which is nice, is that we can recruit units with the keep icon if we're on it. And at the end of your turn, or at the end of your turn, if you end your turn on an adjacent... Oh my god, I can't read. If you end your turn on or adjacent to a keep you own, so on it or anywhere around it, our hand limit is 1 higher for any keep we own. So since right now we get 5 cards in our hand at a time that we draw, we would get 6 if we're on or adjacent to the keep that we own. So taking that keep out would be actually a pretty good idea. At least trying to. We can't actually recruit another unit until we level up again and get another token, so there's no reason to stay here and try to recruit. We already spent 2 move points. The problem is it's going to take 2, 4, 6, and then 3 more, because it's on a hill, and we have to attack the keep by going on it. It's going to take 2, 4, 6, 9 moves to get to the keep. That's when this game starts going crazy. We don't have 9 moves in any shape or form. We do have a lot of attack, though, which could be very useful to try to kill whoever's in the keep. So I would like to get closer to it. So let's spend the move, and we'll take the blue die from the source to go 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go through the forest, actually, but that would cost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 4, 6, 7, 8, or we can go 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, going through the forest is quicker. Interesting. But we don't really have the cards. So it would cost us 5 to get onto the forest this turn. And we can play 4 from what we have right now. Which would, so next turn we will be here. It would cost us 6, or else we can move 4, and then the turn after that it will cost us 3, 4, 5. So unless I want to flip over one of these cards to go 5, it will cost us 3 next turn. Maybe I'll do that. Something that we don't need. These are, these are pretty good. That's good actually. Let's flip over Crystallize. We'll tap that. So now we're going 4, 5 movement. So that's 1, 2, and then 3 more for 5, and now we're only 3 spaces away from the keep next turn. I think that'll work. Okay, so we're going to end our turn there. We didn't use that mana token we got for flipping our skill over. We didn't have a white thing to use it on, but that's okay. It happens. So we re-roll our die, and we get blue again. Put that in there. We discard our cards, and we are next to the keep. Actually, I forgot we were next to the keep in the daytime, so we can flip this over and see who's there. And it is this dude, who is on this page. It actually explains who all the guys are and their names and stuff. So this guy is the guardsman. And he's actually pretty good on defense. He only attacks for 3, but he has 7 defense, and he's fortified, which means that that first attack, where you can do a ranged attack, a ranged attack won't work on him. You have to do a siege attack to knock him out in 1 turn, The other thing is, if you attack a keep, no matter who comes up, they always have fortified, because they're in a keep. Keeps are always fortified, even if this token isn't here. So either way, he'd be fortified, but still. 7, and we get 3 for taking them out. 3 fame experience points for taking them out. So what we're doing, basically, is we're chilling in the forest. And we're going to try to get in that keep next turn and take that guy out. That's the plan. The other good thing about that is we'll be on an edge, so later on we only have to spend 2 movement to do the next tile and get going. So, yeah. Okay. So like I said, our turn was done. We put our mana back, re-rolled the die, and we get to flip over our last card. We only got 1 left, and it is our other attack card. Now, what happens in this game is you have a specific set of cards. There's 2 rage. There's only 1 determination, I think. There's only 1 of them. There's 1 of them. There's 2 of the green moves, 2 of the blue moves. Once you play enough, you get to realize what's in your hand. I knew we haven't had any attack cards in the beginning of the round. And I knew they were going to start coming at the end. Once you got halfway through the deck, you haven't gotten any, you're going to get them, because they're there. So if you see what's kind of happened in the very first move, we had a lot of movement points, so I moved around a little bit. I knew we were going to get attack cards toward the end. So that's why, I knew we were going to get probably another one when we went toward that keep. So I would have went there anyway, probably. But if you can count the cards and realize what you haven't seen, you have an idea of what's coming, which could be useful. So he's done. Well, I'm done. So now the dummy player goes. It's his turn. He doesn't have any cards, so he declares end of turn officially, which means I now have 1 more turn. So we can attack this keep. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. I still have a green mana token sitting there, which could be very useful here for concentration. Because if I play a green token, I get to play another action card with it, and I get the stronger attack for free of that card, which means I can get this 4 attack save for free, and you get a bonus to that, +2 to that attack. So that is useful. And we have that in my green here sitting. Okay, so this guy does 3. Let's do this first. So I can't... The first step in attacking is the range or siege thing. I don't have enough to kill him outright as a siege attack, so we stop that. Now we go to him attacking me. This is the first time. The first guy I killed, I was able to range attack him, so we haven't been attacked before. So he does 3 attack to us. Right there. So we got to block that. If we don't block all 3 attack in our block phase, then we're going to get hit for all 3 attacks. So even if we are able to, say we can play this card, and we block 2 attack, that's not 3. And that's all we had. There's no reason to play this card. It doesn't mean that he only hits us with 1 next turn. On the other, when he hits us eventually, he'll still hit us for 3, even if we block 2. So if you can't block all the damage, don't waste the cards blocking. It's pointless. It doesn't help. If you can block it all, then you do it, obviously. But what we do have here is this guy has a blue block 5. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this over. We're going to spend one of the blue manas that we have, or the blue mana in the source. We're going to supersize that to block 5. So now he hits us for 3. We block 5 of it. So now he doesn't do any damage to us. We blocked his whole attack. Now we move on to the assigned damage phase, which would mean if we didn't block it, we have to assign the damage to us or our guys here. And we could have actually used these guys, the crossbowmen, to block 3 by putting this token on them, and it wouldn't have mattered this round, since when you start the new round, all these, which we would do this is our last turn of the daytime. So when we start night, all these guys get reused again. So technically, if we didn't have that block, we could have used our guy, and next turn in the game, he would be ready to go again. Doesn't really matter how we do it. Might as well just use the cards, because this is the last time we're going to have them. Everything gets reshuffled after this turn. So we block 5. As long as we have enough to kill them. Well, we can use them to attack, so we'll do that. So we block 5, that's done. Assign damage, he doesn't do any damage to us, we don't have to assign it, so now we get to attack back. So we need to do 7 damage to this guy to kill him. So what we can do is use our... How is it going to do this? Oh, there's a lot of ways we can do this. I mean, we have so much attack. We can use him for 3. We can also play a green token from our inventory to be able to attack. Use this +2 for 6, but we're not going to do that. We don't need to. We're going to save that token. We got it already. We don't need to play this. We use improvisation, and discard a card to get 3. So there's so many ways. Let's use our crossbowmen. Why not? So they get 3 attack. We need 4 left. We'll play our rage. And we'll play another rage. So that's 4 attack. Plus the 3 we get from the crossbowman is 7. That's enough to kill him. So he's gone. So we take the keep, which means we take one of our shields. We put it on the keep to signify that we've taken it during the game. Doesn't really matter as much on a single player game, but you're supposed to do it anyway. Oh, I completely screwed up. I completely screwed up. We needed to move on to the keep. Now, this is a good time to actually bring up the revert rule, which is a rule in the game. Which means as long as you haven't revealed something new, like as long as I haven't revealed a tile, or as long as I haven't revealed an enemy, I flipped over an enemy. Like if I flip over something, I can't say, oh shit, I don't want to do that, and flip it back. Once you see something new, you can't go back. We already seen that guy. So I can do this whole move, which I did like an idiot, and realize that I screwed up. I never moved on to the keep to actually attack it. So I can take all this stuff back and redo it. I don't really need to do that. What I need is 3 movement to get on the keep. I didn't spend it like an idiot. But we do have this card here, and I was going to do it. I just forgot to do it. If I discard another card from my hand, I get move 3. So I'm going to discard concentration. So I get move 3. So I was able to move on to the keep to begin with, which was the first thing I needed to do before I figured out all the attacks. But we didn't use any of those cards in our defense or attack, so everything else here still counts. Still blocked him, still hit him for 4 and 3 for 7. We still killed him. But I did do that wrong. Okay, so by killing him, we're on the keep. We own it, which means we are able to recruit keep characters when we can. It also means that because we attack the keep at all, we get -1 reputation. So we go back down for attacking one to 0, which sucks, but that's the way it goes. And we get 3 fame for just killing that unit. So it's 1, 2, 3 fame, up to 7. 1 more fame, we get another level. He gets put away over there. And that is the end of our turn, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our turn. So we put our mana die, we re-roll it. It doesn't really matter, we got black. You can't have more than 50% of the bad colors, so we get to re-roll it again. But it doesn't matter, we're at the end of the turn, and which means we're at the end of the day completely, because he declared end of turn. So those are all going to get re-rolled anyway. We discard our cards, put them away, and that's it. So that's the daytime in Mage Knight, with a lot of talking and explaining, which makes it go even longer. So when you reset the round, you don't do this the first time because you it's already set up, you know, not on the first round, because we already set the game up. So what you do now that we're done is we flip over the day-night board and refresh the source. So we take the source off, 3 tokens, 3 dice, and we flip this over to nighttime, because it is now night. So by doing that, the movements change. Forests, instead of being 3 or 5. Deserts, instead of being 5 in the daytime, though, are 3. So that helps if you've got to move through a desert. It's easier at night, which makes sense. The sun's not out; it's not as hot. We refresh the source by re-rolling it. We got 2 blues and a red, so that's not bad. Could be worse. Now remember, if you roll a gold, a sun at night, it goes in the corner and is not used. In the same fashion that if you roll the black die during the day, it goes in the corner, is not used. Okay, so with that being said, we got that part done. We create a new unit offer, which means the cards that were in here go away. We didn't use them, so they go at the bottom of the unit offer pile. Okay, and we draw 3 new guys. So we got peasants, which get recruited in the village. We get herbalists, another set of herbalists, village and monastery. We haven't seen the monastery yet. And we got an Utem guardsman, who gets recruited in a keep, which is nice because that's where we're at, or a village. Of course, we can't use that guy yet until we get another token, but whatever. It's nice to know that we have a keep close by that we can go get a guy at. Okay, so that's done. Refresh advanced action and spell offers. We haven't seen spells yet, but this is how it works. So the advanced action is you take the bottom. Okay, for solo play, it's actually different, and this I have to check real quick. Usually you just move everything down and add new cards, but for solo play, he actually gets, I believe, the dummy gets the cards. Let's see. For any new round, when removing the lowest card from the advanced action offer, add it to the dummy player's deck instead. Then shuffle his deck. So usually you would take this bottom one, you would put it under the deck, and then draw a new one. In the solo play, you actually take it and you add it to the dummy player's deck, so he has more cards. That's a way to get some more cards in his deck. So then we move these down and reveal a new token, new card, pure magic. So that's kind of cool. I haven't seen that card before, but we'll see what it does if we ever get there. Then you refresh the spell deck, which we haven't done yet because you wouldn't really need those until you got to a mage tower. So what we're going to do with those is do it for the first time. So let's put them down like we would, like they would have been down if we started from fresh on a normal game. The way spells work is you can buy them at mage towers, you can get them as rewards for doing other things. Basically, the top spell here, you have to pay the mana token to use it, and they're always something good. Let's do Fireball. It's a little more easy to figure it out. It's basic. So Fireball, say if we wanted to use this on our turn and we had it in our hand, we pay a red mana, we get ranged fire attack 5. The thing about nighttime is, at nighttime, spells are more powerful. So we would pay a red mana like normal, and then we can actually use a black mana at night, and it turns it from a Fireball into a Firestorm. So instead of ranged attack, fire attack 5, it is now take a wound, so we actually have to hurt ourselves, and siege fire attack 8. Siege is always better than range, because if something is in a keep or somewhere where they're fortified, range won't work, but siege will. And fire attack 8 is enough to kill a lot of enemies in this game. The problem is you have to take a wound from it, but that's not always terrible. So that's a pretty good card. So that goes there. So now what happens with the spell offer for the dummy player is just like this one. You take the bottom card, move these down, flip over the new spell, which we got Whirlwind. This is like the best spell, I swear. So for a white mana, you can target an enemy during a fight and he won't attack you that turn. Basically, you stop his attack, you just attack him. But for black, you pay a white and a black, and you get to destroy an enemy. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a dragon. It could be the toughest thing in the game. If you have it, white and a black, and you have this spell, he dies. It's awesome. So that I would like to try to get my hands on, actually. So what you do with this, we move these down like we did with that, but instead of putting the card, this one we put the card on top of the dummy player's deck. On this one, we look at the color, it was green. We take the green token, like so, and we put that on his card. So he has more mana. So next time we do 3 cards of his, if he gets a green card for that third one, we actually add a card. So that's how we add mana to him. As the game goes on, he's going to keep getting more and more tokens after every day or night, and he's going to be able to get through his deck even faster than he was earlier. And what we do with this is we actually put this one on the bottom of the spell token, which normally you do, the spell pile, even with the actions. But in solo, instead of putting on the action on the bottom, remember, we actually gave it to him, so he has more cards. And those are artifacts, we haven't seen those yet. Okay, so that's how that works. End of the day, I just want to make sure I always do it right, so I kind of look it up. Refresh action, spell, players ready their token units and flip back their skills. So I get to ready my guys. I use them to attack, but now they're used again. We can use them again this turn. I can flip over this skill that I used right here. Remember, gave me 2 cards and a white mana token, so that's useful again. And we reshuffle the decks and draw new cards. And basically, we choose tactics. So the white tactics, the daytime tactics that we chose, go away from the first round. They get discarded in the single player game. So now we are going to, after we draw our cards, we get to look through the night tactics, which are different than the day tactics, and select what we're going to do there. But you always do that after you draw your hand, because you want to see what your hand is before you choose this. Because you can get a crap hand, and there's ways to sometimes reshuffle through more cards and get new hand or something. So we want to see what we got first. So we should have our decks, draw new hands, do the tactics, and then you do your turn order back to normal. So we're going to end here. I'm going to reshuffle my cards and all that. I don't need to tape film that. Reshuffle his cards, get everything ready. I'll draw 5 cards for me, and then I'll come back when we're going to choose the tactics and then continue from there. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.